we're going to migrate a Laravel app from a Forge managed server to my new Coolify managed server. This is going to be warts and all. I've done it once before. It's probably going to mess up as we go through, but you'll see the troubleshooting that I go through. This is what we're going to do. We're going to create the Coolify project. We're going to back up everything in Forge. We're going to then make the repo changes that we need to make. We're going to deploy, debug, and DNS. We should be good. This is what we're going to move over. It's arctether.com. It was a way of like, it's kind of like a journal site. You enter your values, your aspirations, and then you set some goals from those values, aspirations, and then you can journal all along them, and it's all like AI plugged in. So we've got this up and running on Forge. If I go into Forge, we can see here's arctether.com. Now, if I go back to Excalidraw, I want to get the env deployment script storage, see if that's used the database. First, let's create the Coolify project. So I'm going to go in here. I've already created a project called arctether, and there's a production environment for that. So let's create a new resource. I'm going to make a Postgres database. And mate, it's absolutely lovely. Coolify, I'm well impressed with it. So that's going to go away and provision a Postgres database for me now. I'm then going to add, I want Redis. But I'm not going to use Redis, I'm going to use Dragonflies, and let's provision that. So that's going to boot up. So if I go back in here, right, so them two are running. I'm now going to add my repo. So I'm going to select the GitHub app that I've already connected to my GitHub. I'm going to select arctether, I'm going to load the repository. I don't want blog, I want the main branch. I want port 80. Right, so that's all setting up now. Let's get rid of that. The domain's fine for now, that's all good. Right, now I'm going to start, let's go back to Excalidraw. So this is set up and running. Let's go and back up the site. So I'm going to go into, this is the site running here. I've got it running locally just to make sure that I'm not an idiot and it's all running. So I'm going to bring this up. I've got SSH Forge. What I'm going to do is have a look inside Forge environment. Don't look at my super secrets, would you? It's called arctether. Okay, cool. So I can now export or make a dump of that. So if I go back into here, what I want to do is pg dump. I want data only. I don't want the schema. I want the migrations to take care of the schema for me. I'm going to use the Forge user, and it is arctether. And I'm going to dump that into arc_backup.sql. So I'm going to dump this out. Right, so now arc backup. Let's see where I am. Home Forge, arc backup. Right, let's get out of here and then let's get that database local. Home Forge, backup.sql. And I'm just going to dump it into this folder. Right, okay, cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to SCP arc backup into my Coolify in the root, just the root temp. Right, okay, that's over now. So I'm going to then go into, so that's sat in my Coolify server now. But now what I want to do is I need to find the container ID for that Postgres. I think it's that one. Yeah, 5 minutes ago, it's got to be that one, but let's just confirm. So I'm going to go back into Coolify. Yeah, I'm going to go into Coolify. I'm going to go here, Postgres database. I think in here somewhere, like, so if I look in this is the connection string for my server. The name of it, the host name is that 44SS. So if I go back in here, there should be 44SS, which I think is it. Yeah, I know it's that one. I know it is. I know. Right, so now I'm going to copy the file over. So I'm going to say copy temp arc backup, and then I'm going to dump it into the container temp. Right, 11 kilobits. What a huge database. It is huge. So we've not run the migrations yet, so that's going to be not good. Bad, not good. But the database is sat in the Postgres, ready to be done. Right, cool. Let's have a look at what's in Excalidraw. Env deployment script, storage. Storage, is there anything in the storage? So I'm going to SSH into Forge. I keep wanting to say Fortify. I'm going to go into Forge. and I'm going to have a look at home forge sites. Nah. Okay, cool. I'm going to go into arctether app storage. What's in here? Right. Okay, so the link's been set up. There's nothing in there though. What I was going to do then is do exactly the same thing. So I'd copy down everything in storage to my local, and then I would put that into temp and then put it into a persistent storage. We'll do persistent storage. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go to the actual application. Let's set up some persistent storage. So what I want to say is it's a file mount, and I want the destination path to be app storage, and I want the content to be a directory. So that's set up. So you can see there's the source path there. So what I'm going to do is convert this to thing and then say, yeah, look, mate, you use that directory. Right, persistent storage set up. So what I was going to do is copy all the files to here, and then the Docker thing would have access to here, but I don't need to. There's nothing in there, so I'm not going to waste time. So that's all set up. The deployment script, storage, database. Right, repo changes. So let's go into here. Let's exit. Right, so I'm gonna grab all of that and I'm gonna replace it with this. And what we're saying here is, this is the important bit here. So we're just saying that, just trust it, trust what's coming through, because it's on port 80, thingy will start to complain. Let me just run composer update or composer install. I run this just to make sure that it builds okay. I mean, if you've got a suite of tests, which I haven't, look. Right, so I've missed out for request there. So that's use illuminate, HTTP request. Right, let's rerun that. This is just a nice, easy, quick, simple test. Nice. Okay, now I'm going to touch my nixpack. Nixpack is quality. I hate TOML. It just makes no sense to me. But you'll see here, so if I copy the one that I did previously, it's quite nice. So we're bringing in Redis. That is a great point. Hold on, composer require. This is important because this took me ages. Predis. It's going to give me option. Yeah, I want that one. So I couldn't get PHP Redis to work previously, so I'm just going to use Predis. It's a little bit slower, but I mean, who's using arctether? Not me. Okay, so that's installed. I need to update that in the env, but we'll do that in a sec. Here's the commands that it's running through. It makes the logs, it makes all the cache directories, it sets the ownership. We got the post build as well, so we do an npm run build. So the npm CI and composer install, nixpack picks up and runs anyway, because it's found a package.json and it's found a composer.json, so that gets run. However, it doesn't run these things. There's a couple more things in my Forge instance that I think I run. So if I go to deployments, so we run that. I don't really care about the cache clear stuff, but the sitemap generation I do. So I do want to generate a sitemap. So let's go back into here. I think we're pretty much getting there now. What I need to do is set out the envs. So let's have a look in, stop looking at my super secret environment files. My internet sucks. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to go over here. I'm in arctether. I'm going to go to environment. Did I save that? Yeah, it's saved. Developer view, because I'm a developer, you know. And I'm going to have a look at what we've got here. So, yep. Right, this needs changing. Let's go into the project, open up Postgres. There's probably a much easier way of doing this, but this is how I'm doing it at the moment. Let's dump that out. Right, so it's Postgres. Database password is Postgres. Here is my database password. Here is my host Docker's crazy, isn't it? Docker would be crazy. Right, and then I should have some Redis. Redis, right, my Redis stuff's there. So then I'm gonna go, just like before, I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go to my Redis. I'm gonna go to Dragonfly, and I'm gonna go here. Let's dump that in there. Right, password. Yeah, I've got a password now. I'm secure, and then host. Host. And remember, we now are using Redis and not PHP Redis. Okay, one hugely important thing that you need to remember at this stage in your life is to click save. Save all environment variables. Right, so we've got the database copied over. We've got Redis, Postgres all running. Let's do a deployment and see. Oh no, first, let's have a look at this. What I want to do is branch out. Arctether.com. Right. Coolification. That's going to ask me to open up a PR. Let's take a look at the PR. I've created a PR so we can just see, you know, like just make sure I'm not going crazy. 15 files changed. I think that's from an NPM update that I shouldn't have ran. Right, so we've still got the middleware in. The append is still there for inertia. We've added all these request headers that we pass through, and we've got the trusted proxies. Redis has been installed, and we've got the nixpack, Redis supervisor, do a bunch of stuff, do a bunch more stuff. Static assets set up. Here's my worker, so it's going to work the queue, work Nginx. Keep Nginx up and running for me, please, would you, darling? And then we've got the actual Nginx template, which is going to be port 80. It's at public. Right, so on merge, that should, if everything's gone swimmingly, go away branch, delete. Right, so if we go back into, there's Forge doing a deploy, you sausage, not for much longer, mate, not for much longer. Right, so we've got a deploy going on here. Oh, Dragonfly database is unhealthy. That's interesting, eh? I am hammering this $5 VPS. My server's gonna die. Right, Dragonfly is running. Let's have a look. These two are running. Okay, so we're back in. I've just rescaled my server because it absolutely murdered it. Let's go. So it tried to deploy. Okay, the migrations have run nicely. It's run clear. It's created the map, and now it's exporting. So what I want to do is get into the terminal and look at the logs straight away, because I just want to see if any, right, okay, so we're done. It's a successful deploy, it's up and running. Let's go into terminal. So this connects us directly into the container. Didn't create that database, it's probably because of the persistent storage that I created, but what you're gonna do, there is no log in there, but that's fine. So now, finally, we can do the database. So let's go in here. Oh, I want it to be in Coolify. That's port 80, that's my server, that's Dragonfly, this is what I want to go into. Let's Docker exec, let's interactive mode, into this, and then let's just bash. Okay, and then if I al temp, there's the backup that we created. Now what we want to do is PSQL, Postgres user into the Postgres database, and then we're going to put temp backup into there. That's going to ask me for the password. No, it's not. So the migrations P key is fine. So now if I go back into here, right, okay, so the database has moved over. Stu Mason exists. There he is. I've not entered any of my vals, aspirations, or goals yet, but that's fine. So that's done, right? We've copied the database over the storage. All we need to do now is flip the switch on the DNS and hope that it works. Really nice and simple. I'm going to just edit this one, and I'm going to go from my Forge server to my new Coolify server. I'm going to save that. It's going to create some downtime while I then say arctether.com. Save, redeploy. Okay, so that's all deployed. It should be now pointing. Let's go to arctether. Let's refresh this. Boom. Arctether is all set up. Now if we go back into Forge and we say bye-bye. Gone. All right, all done. I've got a couple more sites to copy over now. I'll probably improve that persistent storage issue as I'm going along. One of the main things that needs to happen with this is I'm using a new Dragonfly and a new Postgres database with every new Laravel install that I migrate over. I don't want to do that. I just want one Postgres database for these things, one Dragonfly or Redis, and then just use them for all the others, you know, different databases, different schemas. But that's it, man. Easy peasy. Let's go.